running fans, jumping fans, stowing fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Monday, May 20th of, not May 20th, 27th. What am I saying? 27th of 2024, episode number 90.
90.
We made it to 90, which is amazing. Partner in crime over there, as always, Dave Hyatt. What's going on?
Still recovering. It's always great when a track meet lives up to the hype, and the Prefontaine lived up to that. I mean, we had Shikari just dominating, crushing 100.
Over a 0.1 second lead.
It was awesome. And
is incredible.
The Bowerman Mile, I mean, 10 guys at 350 or better, and Kerr saying, I'm going with 600 to go and then holding them off. What a meet. The only bad part was I would like to see where Hobbs Ketzler would have finished, because I feel like he was right there, building his momentum. And, unfortunately, he got bumped. He had to step off. But I mean, what a meet.
His confidence was going. And, and the thing is, though, it's tough to say because the top three guys in the world finished where they belong, right? The top three guys were there. You had Ingebrigtsen, with Kerr winning, being the kryptonite to Jakob, but then Yara Naguse right there. So
I just love how people are like, oh, they didn't run fast. I'm like, they ran 345. Like 348, 349, 350. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're so warped now and like what is fast that it's crazy.
I think it's crazy because if Ingebrigtsen isn't near or breaking a record, it's not considered a fast race for him.
Or if he loses, it's like, oh man,
he's not allowed to lose.
Nothing wrong with him. I mean, he did run a 345 and he was right there. I mean, he didn't get There's an awesome picture of an angle where you see Kerr, but then you see like Ingebrigtsen's arm and like part of his leg. Like they were that close. Oh yeah.
So it was awesome. It was a great race. I want to encourage everybody to go, if you're watching on YouTube, hi, hello. Please smash the like button over there and give us a subscription. We are up 7 subscribers from last week. We're up to 35 on our quest to 50. So thank you for anyone that subscribed. We appreciate that. If you are watching on X, hello again. Give us a repost and a follow over there. We're at the same counter, 1,023, but let's get us up to 1,500 there. Come on, people. We could do this. Yeah. And also on the Gone Running Facebook, you are there watching us. Hello to everybody watching us over at the Gone Running Facebook. We appreciate you guys watching over there. Spread the word from there. Let everybody know that this show is going on. And we'd appreciate you all going over to our social media and following us there as well, because then you'll get to see more great running content like this. So before we jump in, last week's show,
I have a couple PRs that I would like to get to really quick.
Go for it.
All right. From where I coach in Manasquan, we were at the home dome meet. The Royal Rumble was pretty much just a bunch of fast 1600s. It was awesome. Yeah. Angelina George on her quest to break 5 flat 0.5.
Ooh,
but right there, ran a hell of a race. Tough. She left it all on the track. It was awesome to see. Kat Keefe running a 5:12.
Very nice.
Charlotte Strock running 5:17. So 3 girls under 5:20. Pretty awesome.
It's great.
Then we had Jeremy Vallegra on his quest to break 5, ran 5:04, a big PR. Yep. Chris Folkowski, our sophomore, down to 4:35.
Very nice.
Chris Reyes usually runs the 8 and the 4. Tried his luck at the 16, ran 4:45. And our sophomore, Mac Casello, with a 1:34 in the discus. That's a nice, huge, about 20-foot PR. He's a top 10 sophomore now in the whole state, and we're getting ready for sectionals this week, and I cannot wait.
Reyes having a nice couple weeks, sub 2, now 4:45, like really throwing in the numbers there. So congrats to him.
You can run faster though.
Absolutely, always can, right? That as the coaches, we know they can. I'm going to give a few shout outs. Last week, we missed some of our buddies over in Michigan, the Red Arrow Track Club. Over there, the St. Joseph's boys, Shea White, a senior, ran the 800 and 156.1 for his new PR. Eli Johansson, a junior, ran the 1600, 433.29. For the girls, Naya Dibke, junior, ran the 458.35. And Isabella Laporte, sorry, correct me if you can, sophomore, ran the 1600 and 528.68. So congrats to all of our Michigander fans over there. And before we jump into this week's show, because we have a special guest for 90, and I'm pumped for it. Last week we had, both of our former athletes, one of my good buddies and your good buddy, your peer in the coaching circles.
He is.
Alex Lynch. He is the head coach of Ocean Township Indoor and Outdoor Girls. And it was just so much fun reminiscing with him, talking with him, and having an awesome time doing it. So we were just super pumped, honestly. And it was a good time talking to him. We'd love to have him back on at some point. And real quick before we get in, I want to announce again early registration for the River Rock and Run 5K. Our buddy Adam Nalvin runs it. The 5K is on Saturday, November 16th. And you're going to be going on improved course, but the same course. And 100% of the proceeds go to fulfill the Monmouth and Ocean Food Bank over there. So go compete. It could be a relay. It could be a full 5K. It's fun. Go do it. Great food and beer and everything at the end too. So go and enjoy yourselves. Please go participate. Adam Nalvin's an awesome guy. So
he is.
Without any ado, we want to get in with our guest here. He's an absolute legend. If you are a distance runner in the state of New Jersey, you know who this individual is. He is Big Bob Andrews. He is the founder of Gone Running. He is a legendary coach, and he is also a retired high school, New York City high school assistant principal of 25 years, special education teacher of 15, and the former school record holder at UPenn for the 1,000 meters. It must run in the blood to run really fast 1,000s, doesn't it, Bob?
I guess it's just the family distance. Just worked out that way, but yeah.
For those
hey guys, thank you for having me on tonight.
It's our pleasure.
Really exciting, and love to talk about running. I've been coaching since I graduated from Penn in 1980, and that makes it in all those years. But
Nice.
to be able to talk about it tonight is just really fabulous. Thanks.
Of course.
For those that don't know, if you've been under a rock, Bob Andrews is the father of Robbie Andrews, the legendary runner. And, before there was a Robbie Andrews, there was Bob tearing it up.
And the father-in-law of Josette Andrews.
Yes, father-in-law Josette, who is the current leader for American 5K right now.
Yeah.
She is the top time in the American 5K. So we're pumped for that for Josette. Bob, we want to jump in right away as we always do. We want to get your story. So first and foremost, tell us when you got the spark to become a runner, because it's not a natural thing to want to run. Most people use it as a punishment. So when did you sit there and decide, okay, this is the spark for me. I can be a runner for the rest of my life?
Well, I just remember when I was a kid, my older brother was 12 years older than me, and in high school training, and I saw him going out for a run in the middle of the summer. And it was like, wow, this is cool. He gets to go a couple blocks, young kid then. So I would watch him run. Then my next oldest brother, he's 5 years older than me. He ran, and he actually ran in the Penn Relays and went to college to compete, Wagner College.
Nice.
So watching them was kind of exciting for me. But growing up in my house was not all about running. It was about watching this guy, number 23 from the New York Giants.
Nice.
There we go.
That's awesome.
I love that.
And he was the legend of our family. But that just made you feel special, because there's somebody in your family that was terrific like that. So sports were really big. And it wasn't until later on, when I was actually in high school and running, that I found out that my mom had competed in the Olympic trials in 1936.
Wow.
And, my dad ran for Manhattan College, and they won the IC4A championships there. And somehow I discovered a silver medal from the Penn Relays from 1934.
Wow.
Still has it. But that's kind of where everything came. But the main person in my life was my high school coach. He just recently passed away, Bill Welsh from Newdorp High School. He coached Charlie Marsala, Bill Jankunas, a 7-foot high jumper. But he was the one that told me that I could be great, and he just instilled that in me. And from that moment on, I just trained really hard and did whatever that man said.
And
Nothing better than finding that one coach who just makes a huge difference in your life, and that you can have complete trust in. Having that one coach that you trust in is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and just honestly, just having that coach in your corner inspires you to kind of be better, right? And I could definitely see, and I guarantee that, we'll get into Gone Running and all the things that you've done. But what that coach did for you, I'd imagine you have done for thousands of kids at this point through what you do with Gone Running. So I want to jump into the rest of, starting with your career in the beginning when you first started running. What are some of your favorite memories that you have from being a runner, from the time that you started all the way through college, post-college, all that good stuff?
I'll try to limit them because I know we just have a short amount of time. But the first memory I have is coming back from the Jersey Shore. I grew up on Staten Island. And my parents, we stopped at Clove Lakes Park. I guess they heard there was a race there.
Yeah.
I was in blue jeans and black leather shoes. And they said, yeah, go ahead and run the race, the
Mile race.
mile race. Now, I didn't win, but my future high school coach, Bill Welsh, was there. So here I am, 10, 11 years old, and he said, Bobby, you could be a great runner. Even then he said that. And it was just fun. It was just fun. My parents took it, you don't have to have the best shoes, the short, they didn't care. Just go ahead and run. And that was the attitude in my family. In high school, I did real well my sophomore year, but my coach showed me the stopwatch. He said 0.00.00 in my life. And this wasn't a digital stopwatch. So I was kind of disappointed I didn't break 2 minutes in the 800. Later, the next year, I actually competed in the Junior Olympics, which ties into what I'm doing now. And I made it to the national championships, which are held at Cornell University that year.
Nice.
And I was out in I was the last one to make the qualifying. These guys were out in 52, 53 seconds, even in high school. And I was 57. And by the time the race was over, all the guys that had gone out too fast died, and I passed them. I only got fourth, but still it was a big deal to me to get fourth in the national championship.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible.
At Penn, a big deal was every fourth year, there was an Oxford-Cambridge race between me, and the top guys in each event got to run against Oxford and Cambridge. Unfortunately, the year I made it, they came and visited us. But it was still a thrill, a real big thrill, and to make that team. And then, of course, setting the school record just was, pretty awesome. However, it had changed from yards to meters, so it helped out that I came by and didn't have to compete with the guys that ran 1,000 yards. Mr. Puma and Mike Barno up in Westchester, and we had an unbelievable team where I led off the 4x800 meter relay, and it was really exciting running with these guys, and we won the gold medal there. That was kind of fun.
That's incredible.
But then I became a masters runner. So when we were 42, I started running with Shore AC, and one year we had a really good group of guys, and the world record, the American record was 18. And when I got the baton, the time was 16:20. So I had to break 2 minutes. I knew I had to break 2 minutes if we were to have any chance at the world record. And with one lap to go, it was 17:48. So now I knew I had to break 30. We had a chance. If I could break 30 for that last 200. And everybody was screaming for me, and I just did everything I could. And I think pretty cool,
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
Having a world record at any point, I don't care if it's for 1 second. That's to me, you can say I was a world record holder. That's amazing.
Well, you have to pick fast teammates.
No,
So
yeah,
Of course, that does help.
Of course.
That certainly helps. So you have absolutely had an illustrious career, and that's you limiting your accomplishments, which I think is incredible. That's you limiting your memories and your accomplishments. Now, talk about coaching a little bit. You get out there, you say, obviously you're coaching while you're doing your master's thing. You get done with UPenn, you jump right into coaching. What was it like starting coaching, right away as a bright-eyed 22-year-old, whatever you were, 21, 22, 23, and now where it's taken you to this point in your life?
It's a typical story. When you start out and you're young, you're the bottom man on the totem pole, and you have to work your butt off. I was working, first I had to get my master's degree, and by because they hired me as a coach. So the gentleman that coached both of my brothers retired and asked me if I would take the track team. And I said, sure. I was coaching at Wagner. I was assistant coach going for my master's at Wagner College at the time. So after they hired me as a coach, they brought me into the principal's office and they said, we see you're studying special education. Would you like a job teaching? And I said, I've been a substitute teacher for 2 years, making $50 a day. Of course I would like it. And that started a 15-year career with the high school kids. And I just took my training from UPenn and put it right into the high school training. I used a lot of work from my high school coach. I always went back to him every single summer. I went back and worked with him. He was the master of the individual athlete and the specificity of each season, each race coming up. And my college coach, Jim Tumpany, and he was great at putting together a season and a career. So I had these two different minds that blended into my mind, not quite as great as those two guys, and I started my own career. And the joke about my career was that I started out being able to fit my whole team into a station wagon. And I was not very charismatic. I was very disciplined, workout should be, but I wasn't a promoter. And all of a sudden one day I met another teacher at the school who was out for a run, and he had a little bit of a belly, a bald head, but he was so charismatic and he loved running. And within 4 years, we needed a bus to get to every single one of our track meets.
Wow.
And it was just the combination of the two of us brought up an amazing program and I learned what the word love meant from that man and how he showed it to the kids. And he learned a little bit about the technical stuff of coaching. So we worked it out.
You definitely need those different personalities on each staff to make sure that, because like there's good cop, there's bad cop, there's the person who knows more in this area. But the fact that you guys came together is what every program needs, is that continuity and the respect that each coach has caters down to each kid as well.
The Abbott and the Costello, right? Kids, if you don't know who that is, go look it up, please. But, basically the Abbott and Costello right there. Like, there's one person always holding the other accountable. You have two different personalities. But it's always good, like Dave said, to have that blend. You need the person who's a little more rah-rah, and then you need the person who's a little more relaxed, because the athletes need both. They need a little bit of both. If there's just only one message being heard only, that's when I think things get stale. So, I mean, it's awesome that you found that. So you're going through high school as a high school coach. What sparks you to do something like Gone Running? Because that eventually gets into there.
Yeah, it took a while. So I still after, I went for my supervision degree. So I was in a couple more years. So it was a little bit busy, teaching, coaching. My professors were really nice. If I'd show up in my running shorts, I could actually run to the college where I was studying. It was right nearby the high school. A young kid has to work to make it all happen. But right around when my kids became 3, 4, 5, a little bit older, I was able to get a assistant principal job. And now, instead of as a teacher, I was teaching and coaching till about 6:30 every night, and then you get home at 7. By the time you're done with the weight room, we had a study hall.
Yep.
And then I had to get up at 6, leave my house at 6 in the morning to get to Randall's Island by 8, and have an hour to warm up before the track meet started at 9. That was a Saturday, and almost every Saturday we were going up there. And by the time I got home, I had to stop at the newspaper, local newspaper, we didn't have internet back then, and drop off all the results, which I had to hand write out, and so that the kids could get their name in the paper. And then I get home at 6 or 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, I wasn't charismatic. but I used other methods to motivate my team in the morning on the bathroom door. And the kids would crowd around and see who's top in the 200, the 400, the 110 high hurdles. And it's just that's what kept me going. But when I got the job as the assistant principal, now I was home by 5 o'clock. And, for the same pay as I got as a teacher and coach, I was now working. And I loved the administration. I was probably better administrator than teacher. And that's when I was able to start spending time with them. And there was a youth running program in Manalapan. And I brought the kids there. And right around when I dislocated my foot at work, the program stopped because I couldn't be there anymore. And it was really God interfering and somehow, because Kristen did not like this, and it kind of rescued her from being forced to go to that practice every day. It wasn't what she loved to do. And, so it worked out really, really well. Then when she got to middle school, the coaches would, I'd come over whenever I could at a race and I'd help out a little bit. They were always wary of the parent. When I got to high school, they were wary of the parent.
Yes.
Some parents do come in and all they care about is that out. We won 2 city championships in New York City, one cross country and one track and field, and with Coach Sicilian. And I wanted to come and help the team be better for my own kids' benefit.
Definitely.
And it wasn't until Robbie's freshman year that Bill Hagan, who was the boys cross country coach, he did not have any problems at all with me helping out. And I helped his first cross country race. We didn't let him run up with the varsity. We wanted everything to be patient, bring him along slowly. It's a big difference to go from 2 miles to 3.1. And the first race, he stayed with the third kid. The Monmouth County Championships, he stayed with the first kid. And then after that, we allowed him to go off, and do the best he could. But that was some of my planning, was to really, really make everything not a trajectory that goes straight up and then who knows what happens. But I work for that very, very gradual. And I try very hard to do that with the high school kids now. And that's where I put all of my heart and soul, is into the high school team. And we've had conversations about that at home the last year or two, because I do have a business called Gone Running, and too early to push them, to give them these high levels of training. Most of the time, we don't even use a stopwatch at practice. And I just use the words gentle when they're warming up, medium when they're doing their workout. When we get to the end of the workout, they're given the option to do a challenge lap or a challenge 200, and then it becomes core o'clock. It's Coach Sikori as a yelling, "What time is it, Coach?" "It's core o'clock." Time for core training.
Yep.
Crunches and things like that. The kids are there. They don't want to miss it because it's social time. I used to just be a drill sergeant and everything. Now, after they do their 10-minute warm-up, they go to their water bottles, leg swings. We get 2 minutes to talk to each other. We do all our drills, another 2 minutes to talk to each other. And so we build in social time, and they don't realize it, but it's time on task. If they start in the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and they do this, it's just 3 days a week. Off in December. Nobody has time to go running. They want to go to all the holidays. And the rest of the year, we have practice. And it's just fun, gentle, but there's a little bit of seriousness. And we take them to a couple races each year. And this is where it ties into where I ran in the Junior Olympics. They're now, the big race each season is.
That's awesome.
That's great.
To run in the Junior Olympics. And, we've national championship, which is kind of cool because we don't push that. That's not our goal.
So
go ahead, Dave.
Is it hard when you're coaching a kid in gun running and then they go off to their high school? Like, how does that relationship work? Do you still talk to them? Do you completely let them go to the high school coach? Do they come back to you? Do you ever have any issues with that? Or is it, hey guys, this was gun running, now you're running for your high school? Or do you have any communication with the other coaches, or how does that work?
So it's really hard for me because when these kids spend years running with me, you develop that relationship, you get to know the family, the brothers and sisters, and you see them all the time. And then they go to another school and it's like, I wish I could have 4 more years. Yeah. But I'm so happy for them when I see how well they do. If you look at Lilia Gordon.
Oh, yeah. She was on our show.
We had her on the show, yeah.
That kid is Rafferty, phenomenal job with her. Her parents are great. And she bought right into what he was doing. He's a young guy and he knows what he's doing. And, I sit back and I can enjoy that, If she'd been with me, I would have been so happy to work with her. Emma Zawatsky.
We had Emma on the show too.
We had them both on, yep.
She was our first All-American. Back when she was in the 4th grade, she was so good. And waiting to see her go to her zone school, which is Freehold Township. But again, it's just so enjoyable. And I'll never not be their coach. They will always see me as a coach, and I will speak to them as a coach. But I am not their day-to-day coach, and I will never do anything to interfere what that coach is doing because I respect those coaches.
And that's the right way to go about it, right? That is the right way to go about it.
Look how well the girls are doing.
Yeah. Here's something funny.
I'm a coach.
Go
ahead.
So it's something funny. Years ago, when I was coaching over at Marist, I think we met for a hot second, and you had no idea who the hell I was. It was over at Van Cortlandt Park. You were coaching over there, and one of an individual I believe Mike Kennedy.
Sure.
He was missing over there, and you were over there to root him on and things like that. And at that point, I had just a regular sports talk show, and I was like, hey. Can you get me Big Bob or Robbie on? He's like, yeah, I'll see what I could do. And it's just funny. All these years later, Kennedy didn't. I don't think he cared that much, and I'm not against him, mad at him. But now, all these years later, I've talked to your son twice. We're having you on the show now. It's awesome that it all comes full circle. Yeah. And I think for 2 seconds,
we're gonna come over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for 2 seconds. I think I said hey, Coach Andrews, nice to meet you, and you were busy, yeah, hi. Bye. You didn't know who the hell I was, but it was, it's just funny, just small world. And I think, I enjoy the way you approach being the club coach, right? Because you're the club coach, you're the one that gets to them. And when they go off, like you said, you respect the other programs. Mm-hmm. It's got to be hard sometimes when you're watching, or if they get in contact with you, Big Bob, they're asking me to do this. This isn't going well. What would you recommend? Is it hard for you to be stick to your program? I can't recommend anything while you're in season. Stick to what your coach is saying, or do you kind of go tweak this, do that type of thing to give your input?
Well, here's a Lilia Gordon cue. She gave me this shirt. Running is a privilege, and awesome. When one of these kids reaches out to me, and they do. And it's always a heartfelt conversation rather than a very technical. Occasionally, it's technical about their training and what I could recommend to them. But it's usually the heart that they need to talk to me about. There's a big triumph. When Ava Wilmot won the group championship 2 mile, I was driving to a park with my wife to go hiking, and Ava called in all bubbly, I won, and it's we get to share the triumphs. And when Ava's been hurt, I've, spoken to her, and I just keep it as best I can that I'm a confidant, someone in their corner, trusted by the parents. I don't go off rogue on my own with kids. I always have the parents involved, and it's just enjoyable. This is my life. That's the best way I could summarize it. This is my life. Every single kid out there that I meet, or any kid that comes to me, I will help them. And in the summer, I do private coaching. And last summer, I had a sprint group, and I had an 800-meter specialty group.
That's
it
awesome.
was so exciting. The kids were from all different meter specialty group. That was because that was my best event, and it was really great to work with it. And the sprint group, we had 6th, 7th graders, and we had a 10th, 11th grade. It was like just potpourri, and
that's great.
But it's a small group, and they're working with me, and I'm working with them. And it's when you have your high school team, you can have 30 kids out there.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be personal. I missed that, and that's something I hope to put together.
So
this summer.
How does a kid get involved in gun running? What is the process? Where do you have them all located out? Like I know most of them are local in the Ocean Monmouth area, but how does a kid go out there, and how do the parents get them involved?
So I think I'm going to take a guess that 80 to 90% of the kids in gun running on the junior, and then that's not competitive. Then we have the Junior Olympic team, which goes to the Junior Olympics and competes in track meets. And close to 90% of the people in the Junior Olympics came to us by word of mouth. They heard about the program, and they want to do something for their child, and they hear that they could get coaching, before high school with gun running. Someone you guys know, Brian Prendergast.
I know him well.
What's
I see him every day.
Your distance runners are starting to actually do something. And he said, how can we get a program down in Manasquan? I want the feeder system. And this feeder system started when Bill Hagan from Manalapan High School said, Bob, these kids come in cold. They have no experience running. Can you start a program? And that summer, he started a running camp with me. And within a year, I incorporated and started the gun running business. Then we started with Erin O'Neill and Joe Campagni. They have a program in Middletown, and now Brian has the program down in Manasquan. Have a couple other areas where there's Manasquan. You guys are doing great. I can't believe all you have is a J. Come on.
I know it's. I'll tell you what. I go by there usually. I'm doing like a pole vault or something. I'll come back on a Monday and Wednesday, and Brian does an amazing job. Like the parents are there, everyone is engaged, and it's a beautiful thing to watch all these kids from the elementary school come on over, and the goal is that they love the sport and that they want to keep doing it as they evolve. And then in high school, they can still have Brian as their coach. And it's just wonderful to see. Like, I wish they had more of these programs locally when I was young, and they were so hard to like find when I was growing up. Now, it's there, and it's a beautiful thing. I love seeing those kids there every Monday and Wednesday, and more come too. It's beautiful.
So quick question too, if I'm a coach and I'm listening to this and I'm interested in creating a gun running feeder program, do I get in contact with you? Do I go on the website? What's the best way? Because we've had on Coach Griff from Manchester, and we love Coach. And I know he's talked about, potentially thinking of a program. We've had other coaches here talking about those types of things. If any of them are interested in creating feeder programs, do they get in touch with you? What would that process be like?
It's simple. Just give me a call. You can go on the website, gon-running.com, or give me a call. Yep.
Look at that. We just happen to have
that's one of our summer camps.
Yeah, right here.
And there's my phone number. You can give me a call. Get in touch with me through the internet. I'm trying to see if Mike Kennedy's in this one because he coached with us.
I gotta look. I see Coach Compagni right there. He's over on the right
Yep.
side.
There's
over
Aaron O'Neill
here.
next to him in the red
Yep.
top. No, to the
Yep,
Aaron.
yep.
Right there, yeah.
And if you go down, you see Lilia in the
Yep.
red tank top is Lilia.
Yep, right there.
Jessica Abbott's next to
Yep,
her in
yep.
blue to the right.
This is awesome. This
Of,
is like the who's who.
Wait, I'm gonna
of
find
running
Emma
in that
for you.
area.
I'm going to find her. I'm sure she's in here somewhere.
Emma, let's see. We know
Maybe
Emma.
this
Emma's our girl.
this was when she was already in high school.
But just this in general,
Yeah.
just this turnout is
For summer
awesome
camp, it's great.
right here. Like this is great. Yeah. And if you can see right here, you can click on this thing. You click there, boom, and it gives you all the spots. Manalapan, Manasquan, Marlborough, Middletown. Manchester fits well with that, all the M's. Come on.
Yep.
It fits. Here's a rule. If you don't have an M, you cannot join this. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
But
And,
this is great right here. So if you want to, if you're in these areas, or even if you're outside of these areas and you can make it, click here, register, sign up, because you'll have your kids fall in love with running. Now I know my area. Go for it.
if you look at the if you click on the Manalapan program, we have this is set up for spring, the page that you have. There is a camp. We have a 1-week camp, the 8th of July through the 12th.
So is this the tab that you're talking about right here?
Yep.
Oh, you guys.
That's all, Alex.
And it's for all grade levels, but we're looking to bring in the Robbinsville team this summer. We always get a couple of kids from all the other Freehold regional schools, but I'm looking to bring in as many kids from other schools as possible so that we can have a diverse camp and have kids in different pace groups.
Now, Coach, if I'm a college kid and I'm familiar with the Gone Running program, maybe I'm not, and I want to come help out, is there a way for me to come and help out and possibly be a camp counselor to go help run, do some workouts, work with these kids? And does an internship program qualify with this? Like, what goes into this if you're a college kid and wants to do this?
Just give me text me or email me. Be glad to talk to you. And I'm actually working with a few college kids right now. They just finished their collegiate season. They want to get ready for one more race. We're going to see them on Sunday at the Elliott Denman meet. And so for 2 weeks, I've been working with those kids. It's just exciting. And if they want to come and help out, if they want to have a training program, any aspect of running, I've been involved in it. And I'd love to have as many people from as many different schools, universities as possible. It's just magnificant.
What a great thing, man. And
Jump in over here. Yep, go ahead. Dave,
you could tell like how much this has had an impact, in the short conference area or wherever they are, because so many kids who went through there are now the kids who were winning short conference or winning.
There he is.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I
love that.
That's one of our
all the shirt
topics.
changes. This is
one
fantastic.
of our topics. I got more.
Coach Magny, yep.
These are coaches. Yep.
This is just awesome right here. Just so you can, if you're interested, these are extremely experienced and talented coaches that you'd be sending your kids to. So I love this. I love it all. Coaches is awesome.
So, Coach, I just want to change the topic really quick. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So being at what point when Robbie was beginning his journey, did you know that he was going to be special? Like very, very young, or did you ever see what developed happening at a young age? And if so, how much of a connection or training did you have with him while he was in college and pro, or was that just kind of all wherever he was at? Or did he always call, hey, Dad, what do you think?
So this is such a great question. I was blessed that I never thought past 1 week of training. I never thought past the next race. I never wondered if he would set a school record. I looked at the school records when he walked into Manal and said, "I'll forget about it." And I never went that far. And it was a blessing that I didn't, because we kept going and going and going and going, and that kid never stopped. And his college coach at Robbie's first cross-country race was over at Lehigh. And I remember getting there, and I always get everywhere late. So they were already out, take their last stride. And they're out in the field there in their huddle with their coach. And corner of his eye, jogging out to them. And he said, "Hey guys, here comes Big Bob. Make room for him in the huddle." The University of Virginia huddle. Vidge
That's
invited me to be part of it.
That's awesome.
And to this day, I can be a part of that guy wherever he goes. I feel such a close bond with him, a friendship, and I have a tremendous respect for what that guy knows.
He's a hell of a coach.
Absolutely.
And how great a coach he is. I've learned so much. I mean, remember, go back to high school and middle school, and Robbie's coaches were like, "Whoa, who is this guy?" And then we go to college, the highest level, and here this guy is, "Hey, make room for Big Bob in the huddle." And it's just,
He knows.
just incredible.
I mean, a very big difference, I think, between the fandom possibly of the sport, because a lot of your middle school and high school coaches, some of them really know the sport, so they would know who you were, right? But other ones are just kind of there to help out, to get the stipend and do all these things, and nothing against them. You need coaches. If you don't have coaches, you don't have a program. So I give those coaches props either way. When you get to the college level, though, a lot of the times you know who people are. You understand who people are, and it's like, okay, it's a mutual respect thing. He was a great collegiate runner, very good, overall, an awesome Masters runner. Like, let's show respect for him. And I think that's really cool, and that's a great thing that, Coach did over there.
I love all of these props. They are
Yes, this is amazing. We've never had this before on the show. This is fantastic. All the prop switches and things like that. I love that.
Well, I loved working with the Manalapan High School team. And every day, yes, this is part of the question you asked, Robbie would know what his workout was that day. So that when we got to the track, he knew I was going to be working with every other kid on the team. And the gift that I gave my son was to raise the level of his team to as high a level as possible. And when junior and senior year, they made it to the group, that he didn't have to go there by himself. They had a team to be there with. It's so much more fun. And senior year, we went to the Penn Relays and we ran the DMR. They said he could run the 15, the 3,000, anything he wants. You want him to anchor the DMR? Sure, we'll take it with no we didn't even have a qualifying time. And he chose to pick the DMR. And it was a phenomenal race. I don't know if you know, he ran 4:06 and took the team from experience for the four of them, for me, for the parents. It was just so much fun. And just a tiny commercial. Our girls just made it to the Penn Relays DMR this year.
That's incredible.
And we've never even been able to sniff at that. And the girl ran a 4:54 anchor leg, Sadie Honig. Yep. Everybody ran great. But anyways, exciting. We got seventh in that. Anyway, so
Dave often talks about.
I'm sorry. Every step of the way, my son trusted me, because my son and my daughter, because they saw me compete. They were at all of my races. I ran the youth running program and a high school running program in Staten Island, but I ran a track meet at it every week that was open to everybody, so my kids could compete also. And they always saw me race, and because I brought the Curtis High School track team over to my house in Manalapan, and you'd see all the bodies on the floor, just laying out in a sleeping bag for our summer running camp. And my kids got to know these kids, and they saw how I was respected by everyone else. And to this day, they respect me as their coach. And Robbie, all through high school, he was the one that when he said that to me that summer, I said, Rob, why don't we go after the 225, which would be the state record, because his best was 230 at the time.
Yeah.
And he said, Dad, come on. And, he went and did it, and we trained for it. And he had the aspiration, and I just provided the framework for it. I remember at one of the meets, we were trying to qualify for the first time ever. And I'm over there helping him put on his shoes because we were always behind schedule. And for the first time, I saw him shaking. He was shaking more than I was. And I'm trying to put his shoes on and his foot's shaking. And we're both nervous about it. And he went out and ran 4:12 that day and won the race and made it to the Millrose Games. But everything was, new and exciting. And
I have to say, from an outside looking in,
at the end of his junior year, we had put. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we have a little bit of a skip sometimes, so I don't know. My bad. Yeah. But I just want to say, from with Robbie setting the 1,000 record, from the outside looking in, that was kind of like the beginning of Flow Track really becoming ubiquitous, and it was still free at the time. Mm-hmm. So I remember that it was just a really cool thing. Maybe I was in college when he did that, and it was just I think we were at a meet in Boston, either the Valentine or the Terrier or something like that. And I just remember people yo, Andrew's just set the 1,000 national record. And we were able to go on and find it, jump on the laptops, and we were able to watch him set it. And it was awesome to be able to see that basically, a few hours after, we're supposed to be getting ready for our race. Yeah. And my head coach, Pete Kaliza, was like, guys, shut up. Go warm up. What are you guys doing? And it's
old Pete, huh?
And we were sitting there, and I'm a Jersey boy. I'm a short conference guy. I'm like, that's awesome. Robbie did it. And we all knew who Robbie was before that. So it was just so much pride coming from that. And it was just, it's a Northeast kid. It's a Jersey Shore kid. There's so many things that go through it that just make it great.
So what is it like to watch your child run in the Olympics? That has to be just the most amazing, exhilarating feeling as a parent.
More proud.
I don't.
I think you liked it, huh?
You're giving me an opportunity to wear this stuff and usually just sit.
There you go.
Adidas and Robbie they always found an extra size large between Adidas and Robbie. So there's always large stuff for Dad. So I felt loved.
That's great.
But to see, I was talking to my wife, and probably the highest memory of my life, but they didn't have a 200 then, so she never got to run in the Olympics. And for me, making the Nationals and Junior Olympics, setting that record, was being able to be right down trackside for every single one of my kids' races, giving him a 200 split, whether he's running the 4x4, the 800, the mile, the 3,200, cross country, whatever it was, I was there. And I was welcomed, and we prayed before every single one of his did not go down to trackside. Was the Olympic trials final in 2016. And it was the only time in my life that I had a calm about me, because the way he handled the trials and the way he talked about it, the semifinal, and the way he spoke about it, and we talked about the strategy, and he just knew exactly what he had to do. And we knew he had the tools to do it. In Eugene, and just watching him and just praising God that this kid could do it. And he was 4 years earlier, he left that track crying because he was the alternate.
Yep.
He had had a bad night He couldn't eat that morning. He had no water. He was dehydrated.
We heard this story from him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we heard
And
this
it was awesome.
exact
It was
story.
awesome.
It's amazing that you guys tell it the exact same way too.
And 4 years later, he did not leave his bedroom the entire month of June in 2016. He was not taking a chance to get a cold, to have a fever, anything. And he just isolated himself and prepared for that. We also got up at 6:30 to do workouts in the morning because it was, 90 degrees some days. But that was the absolute most magnificent thing. And I think his last 800 in that race was he was just ready for it. Just wanted, he was ready for it. And
Where'd that kick come from?
that
Like
kick,
his kick. Like was that always in him, or is that something that you guys worked on? Like
came from this guy. Every race he ever saw me run, I mean, I wasn't nearly as good as he was. He beat my lifetime best while he was a senior in high school. So
That's just ridiculous.
that's different. But every single race I ran, I that, and we focus on strategy.
it worked.
Rather than on pace. And in each of his events, I allowed him one opportunity to set a personal best. And, most times if you're not winning a race, you're just setting a personal best. I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But for him, because he was usually winning, we picked each event and one chance. And I didn't tell you that story. He's on the starting line at the Shore Conference Championships. And he was so excited. I mean, beyond excited. He must have, the starter told him set, and he was like, ready to go. He must have moved or something. And the starter took him off the line.
Oh my God.
That's
And
Robbie
that was his
Andrews.
own
You don't do that in
chance.
a short conference.
His only chance. And
Was it Mike Mooney?
he ran the fastest, hardest 40. No, I don't think Mike. No, it wasn't. But that race was the race. But here's some history for you.
All right.
Let's see it. What do we got? Look at that.
Oh, beating Andrew Weeding.
And that face too. Look, both of their
NCAA's indoors,
faces.
that
That
smile,
is just the face of determination right there.
So the story behind that race is Vidge actually consulted to, he agreed that the only possible way he could beat Weeding, who's, Olympian, way better than him, is if we wait till the very last second and wait and come off that last turn and surprise him when he thinks he's won the race and surprise him with a kick at the finish.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that he shared that with Robbie, and he the way he said it to Robbie was, "You're a freshman. I want you to go out in last place. Do you think you can do that tomorrow? Easier or more relaxing for an athlete than to tell them to go out in last place." And he followed the strategy, and I mean, at the end of that race, they did not know who won. I didn't know.
Oh, no,
either.
it was.
No one knew.
ridiculously close.
Then he comes back and gets him again at Penn,
Yeah.
which was amazing too.
Yep.
And
But I was in Hayward Field 2 months later.
Robbie was a tough son of a bitch, man.
the thing is, that's Andrew Weeding when he was, at his best at that point.
Andrew
when
Weeding
He
was-
obliterated the world.
coming
Andrew Weeding
on.
was-
he
was the guy.
Yeah, that was, it was seeing Robbie do that type to Andrew Weeding, but that's also when Robbie kicked in the doors. Like, he wasn't just a high school phenom, right? That's when he was letting the world know, like, I'm more than just a good high school runner. I'm coming in, I'm racing against the men, I'm going to beat the men as well. You're going to know me for a long time. And, Robbie is still a very well-known and well-respected individual around the sport, and around the world. And that's fantastic.
Yeah. About him, he won't stop talking about his sister. And this is her winning the Metropolitan Heat of the Fifth Avenue Mile.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
She got down to 2:05 and 4:42 for her mile.
That is no joke.
What a proud dad, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey, come on. As soon as she graduated from high school, I got to coach her. So
That's awesome.
was really exciting. And she ran a 2:40 on 1,000 was pretty good too. So
Wow.
we all put in a good 1,000.
Cruising. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man. So before we jump out of here, because we've had lots of fun talking. I've loved all the prop changes, the shirts,
the best.
all the things brought out. This might be one of the most eccentric and best episodes we've had in terms of all the stuff going on. I am going to ask you the classic question that we try to ask every single one of our guests. Now, you've been around this sport for a good long while, and you've seen a lot of changes, a lot of things go on. Right now, honestly, a big reason why we started this show was because track and field athletes don't get noticed enough. We don't have enough casual fans. Our pros don't get paid. Your son's been a pro for a long time now. Robbie's not the millionaire he should be from, all the accomplishments that he's had. So if you could have a magic wand, wave it, and boom, whatever you want happens, what would you do to change the sport to make it better for casual fans to come watch it and more profitable for our pros?
That's a pretty deep question.
100%. We're very philosophical here.
I wasn't ready for that question.
We've had so many answers from some people like
Don't give away answers, Dave. Let him have his
I have my own
thought.
answer.
good.
I like the model that exists in get that league going. Vin Lamana? Vinana? I can't remember his name.
Lanana, I think, some of that.
Vinana. Sorry, Vin.
Great coach.
And he's put together several times a track league.
Yeah.
And they've run in they put teams together. They actually had a draft. It was the most exciting thing to see as the athletes got drafted. And they had a San Francisco, I think Robbie's on the San Philadelphia team. And that was so exciting. I just not sure why the fan base isn't excited about it, because one of the problems with track and field is that it's so record and time focused.
Yes.
And the internet has ruined our high school kids right now with that.
The art of racing is gone. It's all about time.
And as an old timer, that's all I work with my kids on is strategy. How can you win a race? Not how can you run fast? And, you have those time trial races, and we don't really go to those. We're getting ready for sectionals. We're trying to make it to groups, and we're trying to make that's our version of making a team. And so if there's a way to put more money into the programs and these professional athletes, they really are struggling financially. Their parents are.
Yeah.
There's an athlete I'll be coaching this summer who has to live with his parents and take a not a big job so that he can train with me for this next year. He's going to give it 1 year of his life, and he's got his parents' support. So if there's a way we could get bigger sponsorship, and the only way that happens if there are people in the stands buying the tickets.
Yep.
So I can't fault the shoe companies because the demand. That's the question we have to answer. Why isn't the demand there?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm hoping is that when Michael Johnson starts his new league, that he's a track guy. He has a good amount of money and backing, and hopefully that'll give the athletes a chance to stay here in the United States to compete at a very high level. So I'm hoping his new league really takes off. He's brought in Kyle Merber to work with him. So really hoping that can get off the ground. And
Kyle.
Yep. He left Sidious Mag and he's now working for Michael Johnson in his new league. I think he's in charge of like I
think it's like social and stuff like that. And
social trying to figure out what athletes are are going to be in the actual league, but it can't hurt, and it's got to be more available on free TV. Like all these paywalls are just killing it, like Peacock and Float. Like people don't want to spend $30 every month to watch track meets.
And I got to give a shout out, to our buddy Kirk Barrich. He's starting the Track Star League that is going forward, and that's another league that he's promoting for not the 10%, but the 90% that don't get noticed, that don't get paid. And he wants to have salaries for the athletes. He wants to have 7 different teams as well, regional, unattached. He wants stadiums built that, rival the Diamond League. So it's very ambitious. But, he's thinking he can grab sponsors from major corporate sponsors like Google and Microsoft and things like that. So, I think that it's a great time to, between Michael Johnson and what's going on with Trackstar, to, ambitious leagues with, people that have their heart in the right place to do the right thing for the athletes and make some damn money. Go make money, Michael Johnson. Go make money, Kirk Barrage. Go make money, Kyle Merber. Because if you
give it to the athletes,
no, here's the thing: if you're making a ton of money, you're going to give it to your athletes, right? Because the owners need to be billionaires for everyone else to be millionaires. That's just kind of how it works. So, if we can get to that point where they're seeing real money flow through the hands of the people that started it, of the people that are funding it, then the athletes are going to get paid. And we're going to be talking about in 5, 6, 7, hopefully 10 years, why the minimum is only $300,000 in the track league when in the NFL it's $450,000. Okay. That's where I want to be eventually, that we are seeing the best of the best worrying about not being a millionaire instead of not being able to scrape together $10,000.
Not worrying about paying rent, but focusing on training.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Couldn't agree more with you.
So, Coach, this has been an absolute blast.
Wonderful.
You have been one of my favorite people. Now, anyone that's watching or listening, we battled through some technical issues, but a little bit of delay every once in a while, but that didn't take away from everything that you gave to us, all of your knowledge, all of your excitement, your passion. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for doing what you do with Gone Running. The kids are better off for it. The parents are better off for learning the sport. That's another thing. Parents have a learning curve. Track is not a popular sport, so there's a learning curve to understanding how to be a track parent, and you're helping them out. So go sign up for the summer camp, www.gone-running.com. You have, Coach Bob's number there, his email. You have the registration. Go sign up. Dave, do you have anything else to jump in there and say before we go?
No, just absolute honor. I was texting with Robbie earlier. He's like, have a blast.
Hi, Robbie. Hopefully you're watching.
I don't know. But, it's an honor to have you on. And all I have to say is certainly watch out for the Manalapan runners coming up in states, because they are ready to go. They are always on that line, ready and confident and ready to go. And just one more thing. Coach Brian and I want to know, how come his picture isn't on the Gone Running website?
Wow.
All right, I got more work to do.
That's how, ending it off with a zinger.
No negatives. Just to make me better. Just making me better.
This has been it's been an absolute honor. Just you're
and Brian's pretty sharp.
Brian's the best.
He's real sharp.
But just to hear your journey and to hear your perspective of being a parent of an Olympian is just been absolutely wonderful to hear. And I can't wait to see you at the meets coming up, and best of luck for the whole rest of the season and for your whole future in coaching, because there's so many people who can learn from you, not only the athletes, but other coaches. Anybody who stops and talks to you at a meet and picks your brain, they are much, much, much better for it.
So, Coach, anything that you want to add before?
I've had a blast. Yeah. I've had a blast, and I love what you guys are doing. And I do have the vision now for kids when I meet them that I didn't have for my son. So that's now I can handle it, though, because it's not my own kid.
Right.
So it's a coach has a vision, and parents, trust your coach. You give the hug and love to the kids and let the coach do the coaching. But and I've had a great experience with the parents that I've worked with. We're 90 episodes. You're killing it. Keep it up. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So once again, he's Big Bob Andrews. He's the founder and director of the youth running program, Gone Running LLC. Was in education for a long time, retired. He's still a coach, loves coaching, and he's a pretty fast guy himself. So definitely someone that you want to sit there and listen to if you're a kid that's coming up. Once again, go to www.gone-running.com. Go sign up. If you're an athlete in the area and you want to help out, reach out to Bob. You'll not only go with like-minded people, have a great time training some kids. You'll learn a ton because you'll have Bob Andrews, you'll have Coach Compagni, you'll have a litany of just really knowledgeable individuals there that will also help you. So 100% go there. For everyone that watched tonight, thank you so much. We appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button. Give us a subscription over there. Spread this to all your other running fans. Let them know that we exist, what we do here. Go back, watch some episodes. If you're on X, give us a repost. Once again, follow. Do the same thing. And for everyone that was on the Gone Running Facebook, hello. Thank you, guys. Definitely come on, convert, jump to us as well. But outside of that, we'll be back on next week. We'll be here with even more great guests as well. I don't know if we could top all the apparel changes and things like that Coach Bob brought, but man,
we have a great guest next week. You guys will find out who it is then, but it's a good one.
Absolutely. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. So long, everybody.